Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your sources and really dig into them for the most fascinating insights. Today, we're looking at a truly extraordinary personal story. It's one that, it challenges our understanding of reality, commitment, and maybe what love even means. We've got excerpts from a narrative called The Genie and My Soulmate, Love. And this isn't just some story, It feels like a window into a life lived right on the edge of what we consider normal. So our mission today is to unpack the layers of this pretty unique experience, see what we can find.
Yeah, it's really compelling how this narrative gets into a relationship that just defies, all the usual boundaries. We'll be looking at the protagonist's journey, her unwavering dedication, and the sort of philosophical ideas about love that come out of this really personal story. And it raises a big question, doesn't it? What happens when your heart leads you somewhere the world basically says, nope, that doesn't exist?
Okay, let's dive in. Our protagonist is Tanvi. Now, she started life as Panvir Fatima, but she felt that name was, and this is her quote, too formal, too old, like a strict school principal or a bitter old woman. A bit harsh, maybe. So she picked Tanvi for herself. Short, unique, a little cheerful, a little simple, just like her. You immediately get a sense of her personality. She says she loves life, finds happiness everywhere, always laughing, joking, living like each moment is her last. Her mother apparently used to say marriage would put an end to all that fun, but Tanvi just smiled. Clearly, she wasn't easily put in a box.
That's such a crucial starting point, isn't it? Framing Tanvi like that. We see someone who really embraces life, almost with this rebellious spirit, someone who carves her own path right from the start, even with her name. It really sets the stage for the pretty extraordinary choices she makes later on. It shows how conviction can start small.
Right, so the story itself really kicks off when Tanvi heads to her grandmother's village. This is for the summer holidays, coming from Lahore. She's with her two best friends, Saba and Myra. And she describes this classic village scene. Her nani's, that's her grandma's big welcoming house, kids playing everywhere, lush green fields, sugarcane, rice. And her nani serving lassi and fresh butter rotis. It sounds just lovely, almost like something out of a film.
It really does. The way it's painted is so vivid, almost nostalgic. And that pastoral beauty, that calmness, serves as this really stark contrast to the mystical stuff that starts happening soon after. It highlights that collision, the ordinary versus the magical, makes what comes next feel even more striking.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. They're out for a walk in the village. They reach this ancient, huge tree near the graveyard. Now, Tanvi remembers a story her nani told her when she was a kid about a genie chief living in this tree who falls for girls who pass by wearing perfume with their hair down. And Tanvi, being Tanvi, just laughs it off. But then decides, hey, let's test this legend. She happens to have perfume on, her hair is open. She even gets Saba to film her while she dances under the tree. She describes feeling this unseen intoxication like the branches themselves were watching her. It's quite a scene. Then, that night, things start happening. She wakes up in her room feeling like someone's watching her. And at her window, she sees a young man, and he has these deep, captivating blue eyes. He just stands there, watching her, silently. She tries to rationalize it, maybe just some local guy. But his image, especially those blue eyes, just gets stuck in her head, in her heart, really.
Right, that's the moment, isn't it? The watcher at the tree, then the observer at the window. The story is deliberately blurring those lines between the old folklore and what might be real. And those blue eyes, specifically, they become this recurring thing, drawing her in, establishing this connection that's clearly more than just, curiosity. It feels fated.
Yeah, fated is a good word.
Yeah.
Because the next day, the plot, it thickens considerably. Saba shows Tanvi the video from the day before, from her dancing under the tree, and when they look closely, guess who's there? Standing behind the tree trunk, silently watching Tanvi dance.
The same guy, the blue-eyed man.
The very same one. Tanvi, still trying to keep it light, jokes that he must be madly in love with her. But Myra, her other friend, she's clearly worried. She warns Tanvi. Tanvi, though, she's not put off. Later, she actually goes back to the tree to find him, to confront him. And then something incredibly dramatic happens. As she's talking to him, this huge, heavy tree trunk just crashes down right where she'd been standing moments before. But the mysterious man, who she now learns, is named Jharak. He pulls her into his arms, saves her life.
Wow. Okay, so that's a major turning point. It really cements the bond. It's not just curiosity or attraction anymore. It's linked with fate, with protection. That act of saving her life, it creates this undeniable trust, this connection. It pushes her further into this, let's face it, pretty unusual relationship, even with her friends being nervous about it. He's not just mysterious now, he's her protector.
Exactly. So after the rescue, she finds out his name is Jharak. She asks him where he lives, and he just says he's a traveler, kind of vague. She invites him over for a meal, but he declines. Still not giving up, she suggests a picnic under the tree the next day, and to that, he just nods. And that's how this, well, unique friendship starts. Tanvi and her friends make this big picnic spread. Jharak joins them very quietly. Tanvi knows he doesn't say much at all, but she finds his silence has this strange magic for her. Their daily meetings under the tree become the highlight of her life. There are these little moments. He cleans mango juice from her fingers, he holds her hand, and she feels like time just stops when they're together.
You see this love developing, but not through big speeches or declarations, right? It's all quiet intimacy, shared moments. The way the story describes his silence speaking volumes or the simple act of holding hands, it conveys this deep, almost spiritual connection. It bypasses words. It really challenges our usual ideas of how relationships are supposed to form, suggesting this bond based on just presence, unspoken understanding.
And it deepens. Her friends eventually tease her, "You're in love, aren't you?" And she doesn't deny it. She freely admits it. She's completely captivated by his looks, his eyes, those unspoken words she feels in his silence. She even declares she wants to marry him, says she'd stay in the village, live there for him. So full of this feeling, Tanvi goes to the tree alone to tell him how she feels. She says, "I love you. I feel incomplete without you." He replies that he likes her too, but he says he's alone in this world. And instantly she responds, "Now you are not alone. I am with you." They embrace, and the moment is described as being outside of time, like they're in another world entirely.
That's her full commitment right there. Yeah. A total leap of faith emotionally. Her just brushing past that alone in this world comment. It really foreshadows how she'll later accept his extraordinary nature. Her love is just unconditional. Even before she knows the full, frankly, unbelievable truth, it shows how the heart can commit way before the mind catches up.
Yeah, her heart is fully in it. She feels complete. So she asks him, "Why can't we marry?" She talks about her independence, how she wants to live life her way. But Jharak tells her, "No, Tanvi, we cannot marry." Then he drops this bombshell. We are from different worlds. He hints there's something about him, a truth that would make her run away, basically. But he doesn't say what it is. She's heartbroken, frustrated by the silence, and she leaves. But she can't stop thinking about his words. Different worlds. So the next morning she goes back to the tree. She's begging him, "Please tell me the truth." He asks her if she trusts him. She nods, so she trusts him more than herself. Then he holds her, tells her to close her eyes. He whispers these beautiful words of love, calls her complete with him, says without her, no world. And then this moment of just pure astonishment, he tells her, "Open your eyes, look down." And she does. And she finds herself floating high up in the air above the ground, clinging on to him. After they land back down, he puts his fingers on her eyes, and boom, they're instantly somewhere else, some serene other place, before popping right back to the tree.
Okay, that is the big reveal moment in the story. The ultimate aha moment, as you called it earlier. It's the physical proof of his extraordinary nature. The flying, the teleporting. It's concrete evidence that he really is from a different world. It validates everything she felt intuitively, but it also presents this huge challenge. I mean, how do you integrate something that profound, that unbelievable, into your actual life? This is where the story fully commits to its magical realism.
Absolutely. She's terrified, understandably. She asks him, "Who are you?" And Jharak finally tells her the truth. "Tanvi," he says, "I am the Jinni chief who lives on this tree, whose story your Nani used to tell in your childhood." He explains it all, her dance, the perfume, the open hair, it all captivated him, made him fall in love. So much so that he broke the rules of his world, took on a human form just to be near her without, freaking her out completely. I mean, what must be going through her head right then, realizing the childhood legend is real and it's somehow wrapped up with her deepest feelings?
It must be just a whirlwind, right? Overwhelming. She's battling fear, asking herself, was this all a trick? Or is my love really so strong it caught at Jinny's heart? But what's really powerful is how quickly her love wins out over the fear. It just eclipses it. She chooses to accept his reality, no matter how bizarre or scary it seems. She prioritizes that connection over everything else. It really highlights this deep human ability for unconditional love and acceptance, even when faced with something utterly impossible by normal standards.
But Jharak, he's worried about her. He tells her, "This will ruin your life. You won't marry anyone else." And Tanvi just defiantly replies that she can't marry anyone else. Her love for him is now, she says, a part of her very being, that every heartbeat speaks his name. Intense stuff. So faced with this absolute resolve from her, Jharak says, "If this is the case, then from today, I will never appear to you again." And he just turns and fades into darkness. She tries to stop him, but he's gone. So for 6 months, Tanvi's just tormented. He's gone. She can't forget him. And she makes this incredibly drastic decision. She sells everything she owns in the city, her property, plots, shops, a small flat, everything. And she uses the money to buy the land around that specific tree. It's about 10 marla, which is a local land measurement. Danny had said the land was abandoned because of the Jinni story. And she builds a house there, right there. Even though the villagers warn her it's ominous, people get sick there. She has to hire workers from another village to do it. And she makes the tree the absolute centerpiece of her new home.
That is just an incredible display of, well, perseverance doesn't quite cover it. Dedication, devotion. She doesn't just sit around mourning. She actively reshapes her entire existence, makes this profound sacrifice, worldly goods, social standing, all to physically embody her commitment to this, elusive love. It really mirrors those classic myths, doesn't it? The hero proving devotion through impossible trials. It speaks to a conviction that runs deeper than society, deeper than logic, and it makes you ask, how far would you go for a love the world just wouldn't understand?
It's a powerful question. So a year goes by in this new house she built around the tree. Every day she sits by the tree, she touches its roof, she talks to Jharak, but nothing. No response. She feels his presence sometimes, she says, but he never appears. Meanwhile, her mother and Nani are just beside themselves, angry and sad, seeing what she's done. She's got no money left, basically surviving by doing online typing, data entry jobs. She's living in this house everyone calls inauspicious, having given up everything for a love that's just silent. And one day, driven to despair, she cuts her wrist, ready to end it all. But she wakes up. Her wrist is bandaged. And Jharak is sitting there right in front of her. He asks her, "Are you crazy? People will call you mad, a witch. And you still want to stay with me?" And she just replies, "I don't care what they say. Just being with you is enough."
Wow, the near tragedy and then his return, it really underscores the sheer depth of their connection, doesn't it? And the extremity of her devotion. It highlights this idea in the story that true love isn't about convenience or what other people think. It's presented as this fundamental need, something that even overrides self-preservation. It does make you question, though, is this love as we usually define it? Or is it something else? Maybe an all-consuming devotion, almost like a spiritual practice.
It's definitely pushed beyond the usual boundaries. Jharak kisses her forehead, but he warns her again. He says this life she wants, it's a deception. It will only bring her pain. But Tanvi insists. He is everything to her. Even if they can't be truly one, they can still be together. And then Jharak reveals something. He says he's been there all along, watching her every day, calling to her from the tree, being present in her room, around her. But he couldn't touch her, couldn't appear, because he had sworn he wouldn't return until she basically called him back with that act of desperation. So now, they live together in that house, by the tree. Tanvi lives a normal human life during the day, but at night, as she puts it, when silence falls and cold air blows, he comes. He sits with her, strokes her hair, protects her while she sleeps. It's this really unique kind of coexistence they've found.
It really is unique. It describes a love that's figured out a way to exist somehow within the tight constraints of their vastly different realities. It's not a conventional relationship, obviously. It's quiet, intimate, built on acceptance and just presence. Rather than constant interaction or shared public life, it really invites us to think about all the different forms love can actually take and the personal truth, the personal conviction that can sustain it against all odds. What's fascinating is how the story sort of redefines being together. It's not about a fully integrated human life here. It's about this profound, accepted coexistence.
And the story ends with Tanvi reflecting on all this, on love itself. She knows some people won't believe her. They'll call her crazy, say she just made up an imaginary lover. But for her, it's absolutely real. It's a reality she lives every day and night where Jharak is with her. She finishes by saying, "This is my life, my story, my love, my punishment, my existence, in which there's only me, him, and the shade of that tree, which is the witness to our love." It's quite a statement.
And from that really extraordinary experience, a very specific definition of love emerges, doesn't it? The story seems to suggest love is this feeling born silently, something that takes over your whole being beyond words. It emphasizes that this kind of love doesn't see externals like color or caste. It comes purely from the heart. It teaches sacrifice, forgetting your ego, always putting the beloved's peace first. If you connect this to the bigger picture, the story defines true love as utterly unconditional, no demands, just sincerity and loyalty. It even suggests that separation can feel like a form of worship, and just being united, even in their limited way, is a blessing. True love, in this view, deepens with time, with distance, even with silence. It fosters this blind trust, makes everything feel real no matter how strange. It completes a person, makes loneliness beautiful somehow. It's called the real wealth, a gift, a form of worship, a light against darkness. It's like a silent prayer that reaches both God and the beloved. It's pushing love into this very spiritual, almost mystical realm.
So after diving deep into this, what does it all mean? Tanvi's story, her love for Jharak, the Jinni chief, it's such a powerful testament to conviction, isn't it? To sacrifice and this deep, unwavering devotion that just defies reality as we usually know it. It really challenges us to look beyond what's just visible, to think about the unseen connections that might shape our lives, and maybe question what we think is actually possible.
Absolutely. And this deep dive into Tanvi's world, it brings up some big questions for you, the listener. How do we define our own reality when our personal experience bumps up against what society tells us is normal or possible? And just how far can belief and love really stretch the boundaries of what we accept? What aspects of Tanvi's intense journey, her commitment, maybe resonate with you, even if the whole genie part feels, well, fantastical? What would you sacrifice for a love the world simply wouldn't understand?